Hello and welcome to Vision Academy. In this video, we are going to learn function overloading. So first of all, we will have the definition of function overloading. Function overloading means having more than one function with the same name and with a different number of arguments and different types of return types. So let me write the definition over here. The set of functions having same name but with different number of arguments or different return types. Here, let us take an example for function overloading. So I want to perform the addition of numbers. In that situation, I'm going to write the function declaration as return type. The name of the function, I'm going to write it as sum. I want to perform addition of two integer type of data. I'll write int a comma int b as argument to the function called sum. So I'll write one more function. Here I'm going to use floating type of data, and now I'm going to use the same function name. You can see here function overloading can also be defined as having the same interface but many methods. We can have more than one function or more than one method with the same name, that is called having the same interface but different methods. So here we are performing floating point of type of data. Now I'm going to write here float x comma float y, and of course in both of these two function declarations we have got two arguments only, but the return types of these two functions are different, so we can have more than two arguments as well. So here you can see sum, and this is also sum. So it is a single interface but many methods. We can write even double and sum, and after that I can have any number of arguments. For example, I'll write double and the function name should be same, and here I'm going to write double p comma double q comma double r and semicolon. So here you can see sum and sum is what it is, a single interface, and we have many methods with different return type or different number of arguments. Here in this particular function declaration we have got three arguments, and in previous two function declarations we have two arguments each, but the return type is different. Now let us go for what is the need for function overloading. I'm going to write here need for function overloading. Why function overloading is required? What are the advantages of using function overloading? Here we are going to use a different types of functions and different number of arguments and different types of return type. So hence execution of code will be faster. So here I'm going to write code is executed faster. Next, second need is it is easier to understand. The flow of information and debug. So what is the meaning of this? It is easy to understand as we are performing the similar type of operation on different types of data, and debugging is also easier. Next, uh, third point is code maintenance is easier. Code maintenance is easier. The next point is easier interface between programs and real world objects. Now, let us go for what are the restrictions that we can have on function overloading. So we'll write restrictions on overloaded functions. Here, the first restriction is what? Each function in a set of overloaded function must have different argument list. I'm going to write the same. In a set of overloaded functions, must have different argument list. Second important point is if typedef is used, typedef is type definition, which is used as aliasing for the basic data type. You can give one more name to the basic data type like int, char, float, void, double. So if you use typedef for aliasing the naming of functions, then function type, that is same only. Yes, if typedef is used for naming functions, then the function is not considered as different type. Now, let us go for one programming example. Here I am going to write a single line comment, write a program to compute volume of cube, cone, cylinder and cuboid. So we must know the formula to compute all of these. I'll write here formulas. So in order to find cube, we are going to multiply any argument thrice. So for example, if I take a, it has to be multiplied 3 times. Next, cone, volume of cone can be determined by the formula 1 by 3 pi r square h. Similarly, volume of cylinder can be determined by the formula pi r square h, and cuboid can be determined by the formula L into B into H. Now, let us go for preprocessor directives. I'm going to write hash include in angular brace. I'm going to write iostream.h header file. Next preprocessor directive is hash include in angular brace. We'll write console input output.h header file. Now I'm going to define a class called function underscore overload. Next, I'm going to use curly open brace. Here in a public section, I'm going to define all the functions. Public, then colon we have to write. Now I'm going to write a return type of the function as integer and name of the function as volume. and here I'm going to pass one argument of type integer, let us suppose a, and this particular function is used to find the volume of a cube. Curly open brace, it must return using this formula. You can write here return a, and then put semicolon, curly closing brace. So next we are going to find out the volume of cone. Now I'm going to write here double, and you can check out we have got two arguments over here. I'm going to write the name of the function as volume. Next I'm going to pass two arguments are of type double. I'll write here double r, then the next variable value is double h, and then curly open brace. Here I'm going to write return, then I'm going to use formula 1 by 3 can be written as 0.33 into pi value is a constant that can be written as 3.142 into r square can be written as r into h, and then put semicolon, curly closing brace. So this is going to return the volume of cone. Now we are going to go for the third function. Double is the return type, volume is the name of the function, and here also you can find there are two variables. I need to take two arguments. Here also in the previous function we have got two arguments. So what we can do here is I'll write double r, but I'm not going to write here double h because it is same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write here int h, and here this is used to find the volume of cylinder. Next, curly open brace. Here we are going to apply this formula. Pi value is what? 3.142. I'm going to write 3.142 into r square h. R square can be written as r into h. So this has to be returned. So here I'm going to write return, and inside of the bracket you can write this formula, curly closing brace. Now we are going to go for finding out the volume of cuboid. Now I'm going to write double volume. Next I'll write here the data type double L, comma double P, comma double H. Next curly open brace. Here I'm going to write return L into B into H, and semicolon, curly closing brace, and curly closing brace for this class definition, and you need to put semicolon over here. Now we are going to create the object of this class using main function. Now I'm going to write here void main, curly open brace. Here I'm going to write the name of the function, that is function underscore overload, and now I'm going to write f as an object. With the help of this object we are going to call each one of these functions. Here you can see volume, 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 volume. So name of the function is same, and only thing is return type and number of arguments are different in function overloading. Now I'm going to write here CLR SCR function, which is used to clear the screen. Now I'm going to print cout string insertion operator in a double quotation mark. I'm going to call this particular function first. I will find the volume of the cone is equal to, end the double quotation mark, using this object f dot. I'm going to call this function. What is the name of that function? Volume. And how many arguments that we need to pass? Only one. For example, I'm going to pass 5, and then I'll use stream insertion operator and then end L. Now I'm going to write cout statement, and I'm going to print volume of cone. Right here volume of the this one is volume of cube. Okay, this is volume of cone is equal to, next stream insertion operator f dot You can write the name of the function as volume, and here we need to pass two double type of argument. For example, I'm going to enter 2.0 comma 3.0. Then you can write here stream insertion operator and L. Next, cout stream insertion operator. I want to call the function that returns cylinder volume. Now I'm going to write here volume of this cylinder is equal to, and the double quotation mark, f dot volume. Here I need to pass two arguments, but first argument is of type double and the second argument is of type integer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write 2.0 comma, I'll write 3, and then stream insertion operator and L you can write. Next, cout. Fourth one, here I'm going to write volume of cuboid is equal to, and the double quotation mark, then I'm going to write f dot volume. Here I need to pass three arguments are of type double. For example, I'm going to enter 5.0 comma 6.0 comma 7.0 and closing brace, put semicolon. Now I'm going to write here get ch function and then curly closing brace. So let us execute this program and check out the result. Here you can see I have already written this program to save your time. Let us go for compiling this program by pressing Alt F9. Here it is showing success, that indicates there is no syntax error. I'll press enter. Now let us execute this program by pressing Ctrl F9. Here you can see it is showing volume of the cube is equal to 125, volume of the cone is equal to 12.44234, sorry 232, volume of the cylinder is equal to 37.704, volume of keyboard is equal to 210.